Public Law 102-14 of the 102nd United States Congress, first session. I'm going to read all of this law so that everybody knows what's going on here. Whereas Congress recognizes the historical tradition of ethical values and principles which are the basis of civilized society and upon which our great nation was founded. Our great nation was never, ever founded on Noahide laws. Never. Not ever. Whereas these ethical values and principles have been the bedrock of society from the dawn of civilization. That's a bald-faced lie. The Noahide laws didn't exist at least until the 1st century BC, and I doubt they were there present even then. And when they were known as the 7 Noahide laws. Okay, this is just categorically false. It's a bald-faced lie. It's a bald-faced lie. You go to the Dead Sea Scrolls and pull me up a copy of the Noahide laws. Go anywhere in the Tanakh and pull me up a copy of the Noahide laws. You're not going to find it. They don't exist in the Tanakh. They don't exist in the Torah. They exist only in the rabbinical opinion in the Talmud, period. They were not the foundation of civilization. They didn't exist from the dawn of civilization. Next paragraph. Whereas without these ethical values and principles, the edifice of civilization stands in serious peril of returning to chaos. Oh, you mean without class distinction between Jews and dogs? I mean, unless we have that class distinction, we're all going to fall into chaos? Is that what the deal is? Next paragraph. Whereas society is profoundly concerned with the recent weakening of these principles. Recent weakening? Like what? Are we having a huge prevalence of people cutting off the limbs of animals and eating it and leaving the animal alive? Show me where it's weakening. How about some research to establish this? That has resulted in crises that beleaguer and threaten the fabric of civilized society. Yeah. Slide 4. Whereas the justified preoccupation with these crises must not let the citizens of this nation lose sight of their responsibility to transmit these historical ethical values from our distinguished past to the generations of the future. Baloney. They were never in the past of the United States. The United States was built primarily on the 1560 Geneva Bible, which, guess what, has no copy of Noahide laws anywhere in it. They don't exist in the 1560 Geneva. They didn't exist in any of the Supreme Court decisions in this country. There is no precedent established in any of the court reporters prior to 1940 about any Noahide laws anywhere. You're not going to find them. Whereas here we go, next paragraph. Whereas the Lubavitch movement has fostered and promoted these ethical values and principles throughout the world. Okay, Chabad Lubavitch, the organization that sits at the table with the Vatican, the organization that's responsible for really a violent enforcement of Judaism and violent retaliation around the world. The group that was the brains behind the organization of Zionism and the creation of the nation of Israel and the creation of the Holocaust, not genocide, of 6 million of their brethren to accomplish the task. Chabad Lubavitch. Yeah, but in this public law here signed in the United States, we're going to say the Lubavitch movement has fostered and promoted ethical values and principles throughout the world. Like what? Holocausts? Like what? A racist Zionism in Israel? What have they promoted that's ethical? Okay, and then here, let's continue with the next paragraph. Whereas Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, leader of the Lubavitch movement, is universally respected and revered, and his 89th birthday falls on March 26, 1991. Oh, he's universally revered, is he? Here, I'm going to say this to you, the same thing I tell the Russians when I tell the Russians, Christos voskres, Lenin Yeshua Segradnitsa. Christ is risen, Lenin's still in the tomb, Schneerson's still in the tomb too. Whereas in tribute to this great scriptural leader, okay, we're going to see what kind of scriptural leader Rabbi Schneerson is. Okay? His picture is all over Israel today, celebrating the innate and intrinsic racism of the Noahide protocol. Whereas in tribute to this great scriptural leader, the Rebbe, his 90th year will be seen as one of education and giving, the year in which we turn to education and charity to return the world to the moral and ethical values contained in the 7 Noahide laws. We're going to return the world to a two-class system of Jews getting one set of laws and non-Jews getting another. Whereas this will be reflected in an international scroll of honor signed by the President of the United States and other heads of states. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that March 26, 1991, the start of the 90th year of Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, leader of the worldwide Lubavitch movement, is designated as Education Day USA. The president is required to issue a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe such day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Approved March 20th, 1991, signed by George Bush, President of the United States of America. That's H.W. Bush. Okay, public law here in the United States exalting Rabbi Schneerson and Chabad Lubavitch as part of our Education Day. Well, since we're closing in on March 26th, let's have a little education as to exactly what Schneerson is proposing for us. Okay. Well, what about the United Nations? Did they weigh in on this? Take a look at slide 6. On June 10th, 2013, the United Nations diplomats from several different nations, including Egypt and Israel, attended the One People, One World, right? Orbis Unum, One World, Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order conference, which was hosted by the Institute of Noahide Code. A summary of the conference was uploaded as a PDF to the United Nations website. According to this UN summary of the conference, the attending delegates signed a declaration of the 7 laws of Noah, which emphasized the importance of the 7 Noahide laws in maintaining peace, justice, and harmony among peoples and nations. The conference organizer, Rabbi Cohen, emphasized the need for monotheism. What does monotheism mean? That means that we need to get rid of those infidels that claim that there is a son of Ben Elohim. Those people need to go because there only needs to be monotheism, right? We want to have monotheism in order to unite the world under the one true God. That is, the one true God as we see the one true God, and reiterated the Noahide law prohibitions against idolatry, blasphemy, and forbidden sexual relations. Now, what we're going to talk about here when we get into the Talmud is the sexual relations that aren't forbidden, okay? The UN document states the Noahide laws are laws which all peoples of the world are obligated to follow, except when you talk about Noahide protocols, those Noahide protocols do not apply to Jews.